Bearded dragons are awesome pets, but are they good for kids? Good morning, Reptilians. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Elle, and this is Elle's Reptiles. This week, we are doing a video, super short video. I am, as you are watching this, recovering from surgery. I have to have some mouth surgery, so I'm probably in a lot of pain. We're gonna do a super quick, short video this week. Anyway, we are going to be talking all about, are bearded dragons good pets for kids? Before we get started, this video is sponsored by Custom Cages. CustomCages.com is where this whole big stack comes from with my ball pythons and stuff. Make sure to stay until the end of the video to find out all about this company and these tanks. Let's get started. So, really quick, if you just came here for a yes or no answer and you just want to get it out of the way, the very short answer for this is if you or your parents are going to help you with the bearded dragon, especially financially, then yes, they definitely can be. If you are going to have no help or your child is going to have no help, then they probably are not going to be that great for children. Unless you're a super responsible kid with a job and stuff, then maybe go get them, kid. But let's get into that a little bit deeper. So first thing is the availability of bearded dragons. Obviously, bearded dragons are very, very readily available. You can get them anywhere and everywhere. Not saying that all those places are good, but you could potentially get them anywhere and everywhere pets are sold, meaning that it is super easy not only to just find them in general, but it's easy to find different morphs of them. It's easy to get an adult versus a baby, or to choose if you want a baby or an adult. It is easy to get exactly what it is that you are looking for, and that is always a very big positive in the world of getting reptiles. Next up, personality. Bearded dragons have fantastic personalities. They are very personable. Even as babies, they're not super skittish. As adults, they are super calm, super relaxed, and they are a pet that your kid, depending on their age and stuff, can sit down and watch TV with or play video games while they hang out on their shoulder. As babies, they're probably not gonna be able to do that as much, but they're not as flighty as something like a baby leopard gecko, which is always super good. And in the daytime, especially as babies, they are so active. So kids are definitely going to enjoy feeding them or watching them run around and hunt their food and watching them eat. That's always a fun time for kids and adults. Personality wise, these guys are fantastic. Now let's talk about the costs of bearded dragons. Bearded dragons are very expensive to keep. The initial setup is the huge thing. Bearded dragons need at least a 4-foot tank. Food, they need different kinds of food, so they're going to need a variety of fresh vegetables every day as babies and adults. As babies, they're going to need bugs every single day. They can eat quite a bit, so that gets costly. As adults, they're still going to need bugs in their diet every other day to 2 to 3 times a week. And even after that initial setup, which is, you're looking at hundreds upon hundreds of dollars, and the reoccurring cost of their food. You also have reoccurring cost of the supplements, the calcium and vitamin supplements that they need, and of replacing heat bulbs every time they blow out, because it does happen quite a bit, and replacing UV bulbs every time it's time to replace those, which is every 6 months to a year, depending on the type, the brand, and those are very expensive. If you do start your bearded dragon out in a tiny little tank and size up, you're also sizing up UV lights and all of that. Costs are a huge thing to keep in mind. And the care requirements of these guys are another thing that make them not the best for kids, especially very small kids. And we're not talking necessarily overall care requirements, even though that is pretty extensive. Theoretically, an adult has helped that child set up and care for that bearded dragon and taught them how to do those things. But just talking like daily chores, weekly chores, monthly chores, things need to be done with that bearded dragon on a daily basis. Every single day, that bearded dragon, whether baby or adult, is going to need to be fed salads, and they're going to need to be fed bugs. If they're babies, they're probably going to need to be fed bugs multiple times a day. Those bugs are going to have to be properly dusted. If you have a water bowl in that tank, it needs to be fresh water every day. Spot cleaning is a huge, huge thing. Every time that bearded dragon uses the bathroom, it needs to be cleaned up in order to prevent parasites. Just checking the overall alertness and health of that bearded dragon every day to make sure that they don't have something like parasites, which can turn very deadly very quickly if not treated. checking all the temperatures and humidity in the tank. All of those are daily chores, and then you move on to monthly chores like deep cleaning and using disinfectant in that tank every month. All of those things definitely pile up. So if you are looking into getting a bearded dragon for your smaller child, those aren't going to be things that they're going to be able to do on their own. And huge thing here, as an adult, make sure your child is washing their hands before and after they handle that bearded dragon all of the time. Bearded dragons do have a very small risk of carrying and transmitting salmonella from their bellies, especially if that tank isn't as clean as it should be. So make sure you are ensuring that those children are washing their hands before and definitely after they handle those animals. So if you are looking to get a bearded dragon for your child, the big thing here is that as an adult, they're going to need help caring for that animal. They're going to need your assistance by providing the funds for not only that initial setup, but for the food and lights and things like that for the bearded dragon. And they're going to need help in making sure that all of those care requirements, those daily and monthly care requirements, are being completed for that animal, because at the end of the day, bearded dragons are fantastic pets, but they are an animal that is being brought into your home and you are solely responsible for. They can't go out into the wild and find their own food if they're not being fed. They can't go in search of medical attention if they come down with parasites. They can't do those things. So just big thing here, if you are planning to get a bearded dragon for your child, or even for like classrooms, things like that, make sure that that bearded dragon has an adult somewhere that is overseeing all of the care things for it. But as long as you're willing to help and you are willing to do those things, bearded dragons can be fantastic pets for kids, and it always makes me super happy when I see pictures of kids getting their first bearded dragon and they're just over the moon and this bearded dragon is just like loving them. Like, it's just the cutest thing. So they definitely can make good pets for kids if an adult is willing to help, which hopefully they are. But that is it. That is all that I have for this week's video. Hopefully it was helpful, and yeah. As I said at the beginning of this video is sponsored by CustomCages.com. CustomCages.com makes custom cages for your reptiles and birds and stuff too. They have a very wide array of different cages. As the name suggests, you can customize them to fit whatever you need, whether that be looking like furniture to go into your living room, or changing the color of stacks, or even installing custom backgrounds into your tanks that are completely cleanable and wipe downable and all that jazz. That is what Custom Cages does. Absolutely love these cages. So if you are wanting to upgrade your tank, or just wanting something new for your animal, which is always fantastic, make sure to check out CustomCages.com in order to do just that. Thank you so much to Custom Cages for sponsoring this video. As always, if you have not already, please feel free to follow me on my socials and like, subscribe, and hit that bell for notifications every single time I put out a new video, which is every Sunday and some Wednesdays. This week's Instagram shoutout is here, and this week's subscriber shoutout is here. Thank you so much for liking and following, subscribing, and commenting, and sharing, and all that jazz. You are the bee's knees. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye. Tangled in cords. Oh, you can really see my sweatpants. Good. Test. Okay. Good. Wait, actually, what am I recording? I don't even know what I'm doing. But let's get into that. Let's get into the how and why a little deeper with it. Let's get into that. They are, a weird sound. Dogs. If they're babies, they're probably going to need to be. If they're babies, they're probably need. If they're babies.